So hi guys, I'm going to do a good old-fashioned woman at the wheel driving dash cam video today. I've been out and about once today. I hauled my trash off and I ran into town to get gas for the mower, but it's too hot to do anything else outside today, and I am burnt out working on videos at the moment. So I thought I'd get out and create some new content that I can spend the next week editing, well, maybe the next couple of days, and get a new video up on Woman at the Wheel, because I've been neglecting this channel severely. And I'll explain all of that on our little ride here. I think what I'm going to do is try and find an interesting back way over to Paul's Valley, where I may stop and get myself a Starbucks when we get there, and then try a different way coming back. So it'll be all small town or small country road scenery. Nothing. I'm going to try and stay off of the highways as much as I can. I'll have to get on some of them, but I want to get some like real southern Oklahoma scenery footage for you. So I haven't done this in a long time, and I need to get out and get around some. I've been sitting at home way too long, working way too many hours, and not having any fun. Well, not having much, but I've been overworking myself. So my new business basically is what I've been working on. So probably most of you have already realized that I'm one of those people that always has some kind of business going in the background. And that kind of went by the wayside after Bill died. I kept doing the eBay business for a while. Uh-oh, I lost my lost my microphone magnet. Hang on a second. It's conflicting with my... Oh no, where'd it go? I really lost it. There it is. Sorry guys, not trying to like gross you out or anything here really. I'm gonna move this over here so my seatbelt doesn't knock it off me again. Okay, I think that's a safer bet. Anyway, so anyway, I've been working on my new business because I quit doing eBay, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell the whole story behind that. Since this is gonna be a long ride, I might as well. And I guess I could put Paul's Valley up on my phone map, just for a destination. Let me try that here. I'll pull over and enter Starbucks. Starbucks. Paul's Valley. And I'm going to turn my sound down so it can talk to me all it wants to. This will just keep me from taking too many dead-end roads or getting stuck around blind sections or whatever as I go along and tell you the whole story. So after Bill died, I kept doing the eBay thing up until about January this year, or February maybe. And I decided at some point to just get rid of all that stuff. So I scheduled an estate sale. It was supposed to be happening this week. I've never heard from them again, even though we have a contract. So I don't know what's going on. Something's going on. But I'm not going to sweat it, because I can always reschedule that later in the year. It's getting too hot now. In another week or two, it's going to be too hot to try and have a sale in the barn, because I'm not going to put an air conditioner in the barn. But so that may have to just go on the back burner until fall now. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with the real estate or with the estate sale company. I don't know if they've got scheduling difficulties or what. But I'm not holding it against them. There's a roadrunner out there in that field. He's a big one. So about in February, me and the kids, and by the kids I mean Bill's daughter, her husband, and her daughter, which I've just basically adopted now. We didn't used to get along, now we do. And so they're basically my adopted kids. So anytime I refer to the kids now, you'll know who I'm talking about. So they came down and helped a lot. They came down several weekends, and they're busy. They got all kinds of stuff going on. I mean, they went out of their way and gave up time they could have been put into some other use to come help me do that. So we sorted everything in both barns, and we separated out all the stuff of bills that nobody can use, or it's not, not something anybody wants. And we put back stuff for Wes and for me and for them, and got everything totally separated into two different barns. So we got one barn that's for keeping and one barn that's for selling. And then I decided to go ahead and throw in the eBay stuff and just get rid of it all, because I went to a couple of estate sales after Bill died, and it's just not the same. It's no fun. We had so much fun doing that, and he would find the best stuff. He was a real stinker about it too. He knew he could find the best deals. And I'd go in and look at the stuff in the house, and he'd go dig through the barns and the garages and stuff, and he found the best kind of stuff. So it was really fun. It was like a collaborative effort, and we enjoyed it. It was something we did together. So after going to a couple of estate sales and realizing that it wasn't fun anymore for me, it was just sad, I just decided I wasn't going to do it anymore. So the estate sale company had said, well, we'll be back about April 1st and come out and look and see when we need to get ready to start working on things. So we had this in our minds. April 1st, we need to have all this stuff sorted out, separated, and done. And we did. We worked our butts off doing it. So now it's been done for over a month and a half. And I had texted them and let them know that we were ready for them. And they said, okay, well, we'll be out in a couple days. Well, they never showed up, and I've never heard anything else from them. So I don't know what the deal is. And I'm not going to keep bugging them because, A, we have a contract, and I figured they'll probably honor it. And B, if they don't honor it, it's no big loss, because I will just reschedule this for the fall with a different company, which is sad because I like these ladies. I picked them because I really like them. But, it's one of those deals. So, so we had busted our butt getting all this ready and all that. So up until then, I was just consumed with all of that. And for a couple of months before that, I had been consumed with the idea of moving back to Colorado, back to where my family's at. But then I realized pretty quickly that I can't afford that because it's too expensive. It's just crazy expensive. So I thought, okay, I'm going to just stay here, enjoy where I'm at, enjoy the house. I mean, we picked that place for a reason. We both loved it. So that hasn't changed. I still love it there. I just kind of want to be closer to family. But then I decided that I was just going to quit whining and make the best of my situation. So that's what I've been doing, more or less. So with all that going on until about April, I didn't really have time to be messing with a bunch of stuff. I hope you're seeing the wildflowers out here by the road. They're pretty today. Is that windshield dirty again? No, I don't think it is. I think it's my view screen is dirty. Okay. Anyway, I know I get distracted way too easy. So after we got all that done, and I'm sitting and waiting on these people to show up, and they didn't, I kind of stressed out over it for a couple of weeks, and I decided, I'm just not going to stress out over it. If they show, they show. If they don't, they don't. This will get scheduled when it's supposed to. It's not a big deal. Just forget about it and go on to something else. So I got to thinking, and this also ties into the whole deal with the compounded Ozempic that I've been taking for like almost 2.5 years now. It will be 2.5 years in June. So that costs me $300 a month. And it's not something I'm willing to give up. And my doctor agrees with all this. This is a decision I came to with my doctor, so it's not like It's not like I'm being some, medical renegade or any of that. With that in mind, I decided that I need to probably do something for a little extra income, kind of like eBay was my little extra income last year. And I didn't want to keep doing that, so I needed to figure out something else. And so I got to thinking, what kind of things do I like doing? Well, one of the things I like doing more than anything else right now is making videos. It's fun, and it's a challenge because I have to be creative about it. I have to think of stuff to talk about. And most of my videos that I've been making lately aren't like this. This is like it's like a drive and talk stream of consciousness video. This is the kind of content you're used to me putting out on this channel. So I started analyzing how this channel's done and looking at other channels that were interesting to me and trying to figure out, how does a person go about making money on YouTube? Well, you have to get monetized, clearly. That's the only way that you're going to really make money on YouTube, is by A, following the rules, B, working hard and making good content, and 3, being consistent, and 4, engaging with your viewers. So I thought, okay, I was never real concerned about this channel going monetized, because this is my hobby channel. This is something I do for fun, something I enjoy, and it would be nice if it would monetize. I've always said that, but I never expected it to, because I don't think this format has that broad of a base of appeal. I mean, I got between 200 and 300 people to watch this and to subscribe to it, but it's not like a high traffic, high velocity channel. I'm way too probably scattered on this channel, and probably not all that interesting to people who A, don't know me, or B, haven't been watching a long time and kind of following along with the thread of real life. And it's just not been one of those deals where I have followed the rules. I've broken all of the YouTube rules on this channel. Especially my earliest videos, I cussed like a sailor, which I do that in real life, or I've actually slowed down on that some. I think it's been good for me making videos with the intention of not doing that, because it's kind of calmed down my cussing so much. I don't do that so much anymore. So that's probably a really good side benefit of it. But I realized early on that this channel will probably never go anywhere because of that, because eBay's not going to put ads on a channel that just cusses and cusses and cusses, even if it's mildly entertaining, which I may be, I don't know. On this channel, I don't know. So it's never been like the focus of this channel to make $1 million with it. And I'm not saying that's the focus of the new channel either, but to earn a little income definitely is the focus of the new channel. So I've tried to take what I've learned from doing this channel, the experience. I need to check my map here. Let's see. Alrighty then, where does it want me to go from here? Yeah, that's what I thought. That's the way I want to go too. Okay. I think I got around a lot of the blind sections. So, where was I even? Oh, talking about this channel and how it's not like it's not like a monetized success channel. But for me, it's a successful channel in the sense that the people that watch it seem to watch it, and it's been my learning grounds I've learned a lot about the technical aspects of making videos. I've tested out just about any kind of equipment you can imagine to make the videos and figured out what works and what doesn't for this application. I've learned to be relaxed on camera, which is a huge thing, because when I first started I wasn't, and it's just been a learning experience. Just talking about that, being on camera, I can remember the first time I was ever on camera. I was on TV a couple of times when I was a cop. It was just a situation where I was sent out to go talk to the TV channel about some school whatever thing, and I was so nervous doing that. I hated it. I was not a public speaker, never been. It was like torture for me, the whole concept of being on camera. I've never considered myself photogenic. I always think I look goofy on camera. I don't like it. But this channel taught me that all of that self-conscious crap is just self-conscious crap, and not to indulge in worrying about it, you know. It's part of being able to do this kind of thing is becoming comfortable with the concept. So I've learned to look past my not so great photogenic qualities, which I have none. I've learned to look past all that and not be self-conscious and not feel stupid on camera or whatever. It's not a deal with me anymore. It feels natural now. So that was a big learning curve. Really, I had to train myself not to care what I look like, basically. And I have, so that works. And then with the videography and all of that, my quality of videos has improved because I've watched so many of my old videos that were so bad, you know, and I've tried to figure out how to make them better. So that's a big improvement. So I took all this stuff that I learned, and then I thought, I need to figure out how to make a successful YouTube channel, and I need to focus on that goal from the inception right on through. I don't need to start something goofy and then try and turn it around and turn it into something successful. I need something that will create me some income and that will, you know, work for me and also give me a new job, which I've actually talked about this on that channel, to create a job for myself, because right now I don't really have a job. So this is my new job, and I'm taking it seriously, like I do all of my business ventures. And so far I'm pretty amazed at the level of progress I'm making with the new channel. So the new channel is called A Real Life, and I talk about things in my real life. I show myself as I am. You know, I don't wear a bunch of makeup or anything. I'm just me, working in the yard or driving in the truck or whatever, working in the greenhouse, sitting in my office, whatever, and talking about topics that I think are relevant to people my age who might be living alone, maybe not, but things that affect older people like me. And I didn't think that there'd be that much interest in it, to tell you the truth, because I was trying to find something that I was an expert at to talk about, so that when I made a video, it wasn't like I was guessing at anything or being inauthentic. I wanted it to be real. And I thought the only thing I'm really an expert at is me. You know, so my life. So I have to talk about things in my life, and hopefully other people who are looking for a YouTube channel to watch will find it pertinent and useful and entertaining in a way. And maybe I could get maybe I could build an audience for that kind of content. So what I really did is I picked a few channels that I had seen, and unfortunately none of them were channels with women doing this, but I could find a lot of channels with men talking about it. I mean, I found a couple with women, but they weren't really talking about the real stuff. They were talking about other topical stuff, but I didn't really find any that were like speaking to me. So I found 2 channels, actually 3, but 2 of those are run by the same guy. But I found 3 that I just really wanted to study and see how they were put together and how they had succeeded in becoming monetized and had become successful channels. One of the guys has 2 different channels with, I don't know, 40 or 50,000 different followers on each channel. And the other guy has a channel with like 170,000 followers or something like that. So I looked at the content they were putting out, and the content is very similar to my content. They talk about their day-to-day life. They talk about things that apply to old people because they're both old. One of them's older than me, I think, and the other one's not as old as me. Or maybe neither one of them is as old as me. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. But one seems older. One's kind of got a more suspicious and grumpy take on life in a way, but he's not negative. And then the other one's kind of more sarcastic and tongue-in-cheek and kind of, I don't know. He's got a personality similar to mine in that he can be being sarcastic, and a lot of people get it, but a lot of people don't get it. I seem to have that problem myself. A lot of people don't get it when I'm joking about something, so I can kind of relate to that. So what I did was I really dug into their presentation, how many videos they put out, the things they talk about, all that kind of stuff. I really analyzed it, looked at it, and thought about it. And one of them, the more negative-ish guy, that's not really super negative, but he's got a little saltier, I guess, maybe. A little more suspicious about stuff. His channel is Offended Outcast. And he's somewhere in Kentucky. He goes through his whole history and stuff. He's a widower and lost his wife like 10 or 12 years ago after a car crash or something. But then he talks about his life after all this stuff has been long in the past. And then the other guy is Wichita Mountain Life, I think. And then he has another channel called Dogman. And this guy is more upbeat, but he's also more cheeky and more satirical. And it's kind of funny. He's a little on the theatrical side too. He does a couple of things, kind of acting out things. He reminds me of another guy whose channel I like watching, who hunts for arrowheads and who's always doing kind of corny little skits and stuff in his pursuit of arrowheads out in West Virginia somewhere. I can't remember the name of his channel right now. But anyway, these are the channels I kind of studied, looked at, and tried to pick apart how did they gain success and how did they gain it so quickly, because Offended Outcast has only been around for like 9 or 10 months, and he's already, almost close to 200,000 subscribers, and he's doing great and, making good money. And I thought, okay, this is a business model. I just got to figure out how to apply it to my channels now. So I decided, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to try 2 different kinds of channels. Strictly as a business venture and strictly with the goal of getting monetized and making some income from them. And that doesn't mean that my content is fake or anything. I mean, I'm just very real with it. But the underlying goal is, yes, to be successful. One of them is a real life, and that's my face-to-face. I don't really do any like road videos or anything like that like I do here. It's just walking around the yard or sitting in the office talking or whatever. But I have a topic usually, some kind of a topic, and I try to go for something that's realistic, that is a real thing in my life, and something that is probably widely sympathetic to the experiences that other people are having at this stage in life. And so I try and make it something appealing that people can relate to, and something that maybe, maybe voice some of the stuff that bothers people in a way, but kind of try and do it in a more upbeat kind of way. I don't know if that's even clear, but I usually have a planned topic, and it's hard to come up with these topics. And the more I think about it and work and try to come up with a topic, the less successful I am. I just have to wait, and then something will pop into my head and I'll be like, that's my topic. And then I'll sit down and kind of make a few notes and maybe think about it. And then I just go out in the yard and talk about it. I don't like read it off. I've used notes on a couple of them, but I don't like doing that. But I will record it as many times as I need to get through it, to make it till I can deliver it, like a finished product, instead of like I do here. Like, I don't do the stream of consciousness thing there. I have a topic and I try and stick to it and deliver it anywhere from like 5 to 15 minutes long. I just try and stay in that range and try and stay with that format on that channel. The other channel that I've been working on is totally different. I don't show my face, I don't talk. What I do is I got myself an overhead rig. I actually jerry-rigged one to start out with because I didn't know if it was going to work, or I didn't want to put any money into it. But I rigged up a deal where I could set one of my cameras up facing down toward a table. And last winter I had bought one of those fold-up jigsaw puzzle boards that has felt on the top of it, that you can put your jigsaw puzzle on it, and then if the cats are in the house, you can pick it up and move it in another room or whatever. And you can leave it on this board. You don't have to be cleaning off the table. So I thought that, because I've had some jigsaw puzzles in the eBay shed that weren't selling, and I thought, well, I'm kind of bored this winter, maybe I'll just do some puzzles. So that's what started this off. And I got to thinking, well, I've got this board and I've got these puzzles. Why don't I try and videotape doing a puzzle start to finish, and then speed it up and do a time elapsed video of it. And so that's what I've done. I've actually done about 24 or 25 of those now, I think. And what I do is I do two different versions. This is Bailey, Oklahoma, by the way. There's not much left of it. Or no, it's not either. Yeah, it is. There's Bailey Cemetery. I didn't see the church there. I wonder if they knocked that down. I've got to go back now and look at that. I haven't been out here in several years. But Bill and I used to come out here and metal detect now and then. I'll turn around in the cemetery here. So anyway, I have two different formats for these jigsaw puzzles. I speed them up, both of them. But I do one so that it's over a half an hour long. It may be an hour long, it may be however long. And then I speed up the other one to where it's under 15 minutes. It can be anywhere from 4 to 15, 20 minutes, under half an hour anyway at the most. So I've got a short format and a long format. And I put up 2 videos a week, like clockwork, of a short format and a long format. And so this is what I've been doing. So I've started getting subscribers to it. Not a bunch, but it's a start. But what I also do is I have AI analyze my channels. and tell me what's working and what's not working, what things I can be doing differently. And it's amazing how helpful AI is for this kind of technical stuff. It's really kind of impressing me, which I hate to say that. There it is. Okay, they didn't tear it down. It's just farther down this road than I remembered it being. Okay. Bailey Community Church. Turn back around here. I don't want to go up into Grady County yet, and that's where this road will take me. If I go down to the bottom of that hill, I will cross Rush Creek and end up in Grady. Well, I'm already in Grady County, but I'll end up on the other side of Rush Creek. I don't want to do that yet. So there's Bailey Community Church, Bailey, Oklahoma. Way out in the middle of freaking nowhere. It used to be a pretty thriving community. The town itself was behind me, down toward the creek. So, but there's nothing left there. It's just all overgrown like this. It looks like this. Giant windmill. So anyway, I have the AI actually analyze my channels, and I do this frequently. One of the things on YouTube is you can go to your analytics page. Well, you go to your videos and from your dashboard, and then you can click on analytics, and then you can ask AI, how's my latest video doing, or can you look at this and tell me, where's my video strongest and what's the weakest point or whatever, and it'll analyze it, it'll tell you. So I've been using that to actually help me decide, what to do in the next video. What do I need to capitalize on, and what things do I need to try and stay away from? And so far it's been working really well, because as far as my face-to-face channel, a real life, that channel has taken off. I had a couple of videos go like 10,000 or 12,000 views, something like that, an amazing amount of views. I don't have enough views yet to be monetized. I'm about a quarter of the way to the watch hours, but I've almost got enough viewers. It's pushing 900 viewer subs right now. So this is all kind of interesting to me, because instead of just throwing something at the wall and hoping something sticks, I actually dissected other successful channels and tried to figure out what they were doing, and then try and apply those principles, and it's working. So that's something that it's kind of amazing to me that it's working. The hard part of all this is trying to think up the topics, and then settle myself down enough to where I can do a face-to-face delivery without being all over the place. Because if you've been watching these long enough, you know that I bounce around from topic to topic, and my attention span is about like, I don't know, your average rabbit's on some days, like I'm doing right now. So I'm really trying to kind of follow the formula that I've kind of read from looking at these other channels, how many videos they have, their timetable for uploading videos, all of that. I took all that into consideration, and I'm trying to upload a minimum of a video every other day or every 2 days on that particular channel. So for the last week, I've been uploading every day because I've had some idea pop into my mind. I haven't had an idea pop into my mind for the last couple of days. So I'm hoping this will kind of help me clear out some of the excess stuff, and maybe then I'll have something that'll click that seems like a good topic. So, I mean, it's just kind of, I don't know, it's interesting to me. I hope it's interesting to you. If you're thinking about doing this, I mean, when I first started it, I thought I'm going to consult AI, because I wanted to see if it was going to be helpful, if it was going to be a decent opinion that I could kind of rely on. And for the most part, it's been pretty good. Now, there are times I've asked it a question and it didn't look at all the, oh, what do we got, a bridge out? Crying out loud. Road closed through traffic. Well, shoot, I guess I got to go back to Bailey. Well, you're getting the real deal here. You're getting real Oklahoma back roads, I can tell you that. I imagine the bridge washed out down there, or the road itself, because the road runs along Rush Creek. And there's a lot of water standing out here in this field, as you will see here. You should be able to see it now. It's pretty wet out here, and you can tell it's flooded across here. But we've had a lot of rain, so. All right, we'll just go back through Bailey. Get up out of the swamplands. So, there have been a couple of times I asked it to analyze, just basically analyze my content and let me know how I'm doing. And it would analyze it, but then it would come back with a comment like, well, you're uploading once a week, and I'm uploading basically every day. So I would correct it. I would, no, I'm uploading every day. And they'll go, oh, I didn't see that. And then it will adjust its opinion. So it's not always right. It's not always accurate. But you can adjust the way you ask it so that it has the right data input. So that I'm learning a lot about AI doing this too. AI is not all that intelligent. Basically what it is it's a integrated searching system that compiles information as a response to the question you ask it. It's not thinking. It's not intelligently thinking. It's scanning its data sources and trying to extrapolate the information you're asking for. But it's pretty interesting, you know. It's kind of I have always been kind of suspicious of a lot of the higher tech type stuff, and especially when they start talking about artificial intelligence. I mean, what's the first thing you think of being from our generation? Terminator, you know, 1, 2, and 3. So that, you know, we were set up to go into this with suspicious minds to begin with. But looking at it, will technology one day come up with something that can actually think? I got my doubts, because it's drawing off of a database. So, and it's not really thinking as much as it is collating. You know, think of it as more like a big copier machine that can collate the pages. That's more or less what it's doing. It's not thinking in the sense that we think. But it's interesting that it's an available tool, and so I thought, I'm going to use every available tool to try and help me decide what to do with this channel, these channels, these 2 channels I'm testing out to see if I can make a channel go monetized. You know, intentionally set it up that way and get the result within a reasonable amount of time. And the time limit I kind of set for myself is like 6 months. I don't think I'm going to need 6 months on the first one. I may need that on the Jigsaw channel, but on a real life, I think I'm going to get there before then. But it's really interesting. I mean, it's like trying to reverse engineer something. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to reverse engineer a successful YouTube channel with a similar format to what I'm using, so that it's apples to apples and oranges to oranges. So I didn't really have a good example for the Jigsaw puzzle channel. There are some out there. There are quite a few of them out there, but they all have different formats. And I didn't even like really research the different formats. I just did mine the way I wanted to. And we're going north now back through Bailey. The way I said I didn't want to go. We're going to go cross Rush Creek up here. So I didn't copy anybody else's format. I had my own idea of the format I wanted in my head. I did adjust it once I started doing it, because at first I was only doing one video, and some of them were getting to be pretty long, like well over an hour. And I thought, you know, I don't know if people who don't have a whole lot of time are going to sit and watch a jigsaw puzzle that takes over an hour to put together, even though it's kind of neat if you got time to kill and, you know, something you like seeing. So I thought I need to do another format here. So then I came up with the idea of having a long format and then a short format of each puzzle. So that's what I've been doing. So something that came up in my last AI analysis of the jigsaw puzzle channel was AI suggested that I start doing shorts, like taking my jigsaw puzzle video and shortening it down to under, like, I think it was under 2 minutes, something like that, or under a minute, and do that as a short just to draw traffic into the actual channel. So I made my first short the other day and posted it up. And I haven't had any feedback on that yet. That's a brand new kind of concept with this whole jigsaw channel thing. But I've actually had the jigsaw puzzle channel running for longer than I've had a real life running. And it's not growing as fast, but it's growing steadily. And according to the AI analysis, it, you know, should be a pretty successful concept. So, you know, we'll see. It may not. People may not like it. Maybe they may not like the way I shoot them or whatever. But it's something to try, you know. And that's my whole deal right now, is trying to build a business on YouTube out of nothing but my own creativity, my own ideas. So I don't know, I think it's kind of neat. But I'm probably talking your ear off on that subject while we're seeing some pretty cool looking scenery here, actually. You know, back road Oklahoma scenery for sure. These little roads, some of them are paved, some of them used to be paved and now they're gravel. Some of them have never been paved and they're gravel, and some of them are dirt, which I try to stay off of those after a wet, you know, after it's been wet, because they can just turn to slimy clay mud. Let's see, where do I want to go from here? Look at my options here. That's trying to run me up to highway. Yeah, we'll follow their suggestion here. I don't have a route that I'm married to, so this is just kind of an exploratory trip anyway. So this is Paul's Valley, and I'm gonna go over here to Starbucks and get myself some coffee and maybe egg bites. I don't know. Have to see. Definitely coffee though. So I wanted to pick a destination with a Starbucks that wasn't Chickasha or Wichita Falls, because that's the only two places I ever go anymore. And I'm tired of Chickasha and Wichita Falls. Yeah, the thrill is gone. The thrill is gone, gone. I'm just gonna go through the drive up. If I can get through it in this truck. I don't know, I'm not feeling real confident about that. Maybe I'll just walk in. Maybe I will just walk in. That driving looks pretty damn skinny for this big truck. Okay. All right, I'm gonna shut this all down. And I'll be back.